Hey there, I'm Dan Martell, serial entrepreneur, investor, and creator of SaaS Academy. In this episode, I'm going to share with you how to hire a world-class salesperson, or really just somebody that's amazing, that can hit their quota. And be sure to stay to the end. We're going to share with you how to get access to my signature Rocket Demo Builder process to help you double your close rates and reduce your sales cycle. And let's get into it. In my career, I have hired dozens of salespeople. I recently just hired a new salesperson last week, and in their first week, they closed their first deal. They came on Wednesday, Friday closed their first deal, Monday, they just closed their second one. I said, ring the bell, right? They were all pumped. Emojis, emojis, emojis. For some reason, this guy just loves emojis. Millennial. Anyways, I want to share this strategy with you because a lot of my coaching clients run into this issue when they go from founder-led sales to sales team-led sales. And it's really just this angst where they want to make sure that they don't waste their time and money hiring a salesperson that just can't do the job. And what I've learned in creating this process I'm going to share with you guys is that if we do it right, we get predictable people that show up with the right characteristics and values and communication styles so that we know based on our customer market like who's going to resonate best with them. And I hired a guy, wasted almost $80,000 in paying him a base salary, and all he did, early days when I was in my early 20s, all he did was saying, I'm beating the bush, I'm beating the bushes, I'm gonna create opportunity, we're still working the deal, working the pipeline and all that, and I was too young to know any better. What I decided to do was educate myself, and I read all the sales books, everything from Chet Holmes' Ultimate Sales Machine to Jeffrey Gitomer to Brian Tracy, you name it. I've read over, probably at this point, 50 plus sales books, and I've taken all of that, put it into the training that I use with my coaching clients, with my own business, and I'm going to teach it to you today. Number one, profile. Here's the coolest part of the world we live in today. Well, not the coolest, because the internet's pretty cool, and a lot of other stuff are cool. But one of my favorite parts is the fact that we have enough knowledge about default behaviors that we can actually profile individuals that before they come into our business and understand if they're going to be a good fit for a role. Okay, so I'm not going to share what specific profile tool you should be using. You can ask below in the comments and people will jump in. But for me, what I love the best is that I can profile my best salespeople and use that aggregated profile to actually hire the next. And again, what I've learned is different industries have different needs from a salesperson, right? If you're doing pure outbound, you have a different requirement for that kind of person than if you're doing pure inbound and more of an SDR type role or kind of inside sales. So you want to profile. Now here's the key. Some of you are saying, well, I don't have any salespeople, Dan, and you're trying to teach me how to hire salespeople. Perfect. Here's what you do. Find anybody, ideally in your network. If you don't have a network, go search Dream 100, Dan Martell, and learn how to build your own network. Find somebody that has salespeople that you know really well, profile them, and then use that in your pattern match to find the next level of people, okay? Because it's in that you can get rid of 99% of the noise. Because guess what? Great salespeople know how to sell you. And the worst thing you want to find out is you got conned. You literally had the guy that showed up and ended up in your business because he had a gift of gab, but he literally had no sales skills whatsoever to actually do what you needed him to do. So profile them. Number two, top of the funnel. One of the most important things for any hire, specifically salespeople, is you need to get as many people applying for the role at the top of the funnel. How do you do that? You make sure your job application page is very fun and it sells the opportunity. So make sure that you understand what motivates salespeople and put that copy in your sales page or application page. Number two, it's like sub number two. So it's like A, let's go A and B because this is step number two. A is application page. B is use your team. One of my favorite things to do is ask them if they know any people that are in sales. Go into their LinkedIn, sit next to them. They're next to you. Hey, open up your LinkedIn, search sales, look first degree connection. Look through the people they already know and say, hey, do you think they would be great? Can they apply? Because the good thing about salespeople is they're always looking for the next best product that's going to have the highest velocity of sales so they can increase their commissions. So that's really valuable. And then for me, it's look inside your own network, right? So like if you have an email list, you'd be surprised how many times you're working. You might have customers that would love to sell your product because they're the biggest evangelists, the biggest champions for you already out in the market. why not get paid to do that? I was recently talking to a candidate that applied we've got another salesperson we're hiring, and he goes, look, Dan, the truth is, I already promote you at every one of the dinners I host. It would just be really amazing if I could do that and be aligned with that outcome. And I was like, whoa, you do dinners and you talk about my coaching? And he's like, yeah, because you've taught me so much about how to really think about my business. And I was like, that could be a really cool sales channel. Imagine if we hosted dinners, you invited people, you work for me, and then we kind of use that as lead gen. He's like, that would be amazing. That's the opportunity from within your network, clients, customers you already have, but we want to add to the top of the funnel so you have a bunch of applicants. Number 3, video. I think that anybody, and this has been proven through Malcolm Gladwell talks about this in Blink, that we can tell so much based on somebody's interactions from communicating with them. So we can't even explain it, but we can tell. So one of the first things every applicant needs to do is submit a video answering questions. Because for me, and I'm not involved in the recruiting process till the very end because we have a very structured thing called the talent pipeline that I actually have created and I coach my clients on. And my team executes the talent pipeline. But the first step is every applicant for the sales role has to submit a video answering specific questions, and through that, we can get rid of a lot of noise. We can get a lot of people that think they're really great at sales that we know that if they were talking to a customer, they would be confused, they wouldn't be able to respond, they just don't have the right tonality. Not good or bad, just not a fit for us. So make sure that you ask for video. Step 1, use that to qualify them, to make sure that you don't waste a bunch of time. I mean, doing 15-minute phone calls with a bunch of, dozen candidates, that could take up 2 days of your life when literally watching a 3-minute video can help you save all of that time. Number 4, test project. So one of the things that's really important, once you find somebody, they go through the process, video, interview with the team, profile assessment, et cetera, and you're now at the test project, we want to make sure that we throw them into the deep end. So what we do is we give them an email address for our company, we send them a dozen leads, and over a 2-week period, we see how they perform. How did they communicate? And yes, we give them some training, and our VP of sales will coach them to make sure that they have some support. But at the end of the day, I want to see how they respond just natively, inherently. What are their default habits? What is their communication flow? What do they do without any training to let me know if they've got the foundation that we can build upon and even see if they can get some deals, because that's super exciting. I see too often, literally I was talking to one of my coaching clients the other day, and he was like, yeah, we've had this VP of sales for a while. I said, how long? 11 months. How many deals have they closed? 1. Wow. Here's a question. How many deals could you have closed in that same time period? Probably a dozen. All right. I'm cool the founder selling 20% better than a salesperson, but not by a factor of 10. There's an issue there that we might be able to fix in this next step, but make sure that you fix the test project up front so that you can evaluate true simulation of a work environment with the salesperson so that you can see if they've got what it's going to take. Number 5, sales playbook. Here's the reality. If you expect somebody to come in and you just say, figure it out and give them leads to start closing deals, then you will be dramatically disappointed. And the reason why is sales is not something that just happens. It is a process, it's repeatable, and if you do it right, it's scalable. So what I recommend, okay, and this is what I teach my clients, is if you're still the founder doing this, and I have a very structured template that I teach, but if you're the founder, just grab everything you're doing today and put it in a Google Doc. I'm talking about your email templates. I'm talking about your objections. I'm talking about the talk tracks that you're using on demos. If you're using my Rocket Demo Builder, take the framework that I teach and your answers to those questions to guide the prospect through to make decisions. What's your follow-up sequence look? Write those things down. What training inspired you? What books inspired you? What YouTube videos inspired you? What are you doing to succeed as a founder selling? Put it in your sales playbook. Everything from the avatar, the product suite, the offer, the pricing, the how to deal with objections, how to deal with the competitor set. Everything should be at least in a Google Doc. So if you hire somebody, they can hit the ground running. I see this too often. They're just like, we didn't really train them. We just said, figure it out. That, you might think just because you're a startup that you can get away with that. You can try it. It's not the way I like to build companies because I want to get results. If I'm going to invest time, even if they're on pure commission, okay, and it doesn't cost me anything, My time is very expensive. So we want to make sure that we invest time and money to support our teams to be able to get to productivity and quota as fast as possible. And the way to do that is you need to have a sales playbook that outlines all the things that I just mentioned that you give on day one, once they're ready to start with you, that you use to have them self-train, educate, understand their product, and really get inside the mind of the customer. Too often, you know, in today's world, customers are showing up in your sales pipeline way more educated than your sales reps are on your own product, okay? And that's a scary thing. So you might even have in your sales program, go read all of our Capterra reviews, go read all of our customer case studies, go read this, et cetera, because all of that becomes context and ammunition that your sales rep can use to overcome and to help persuade customers, or what I always think is enthusiasm, just like give enthusiasm for the opportunity for them to solve their problems. So you want to do that in a sales playbook. So really quick recap, how to hire a salesperson that can hit quota extremely fast. Number one, profile them so that you only recruit people that are like your top performers. Number two, focus on top of the funnel. Number three, video applicants only. Number four, the test project to simulate the real world work. And number five, sales playbook. As I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, I want to share with you my Rocket Demo Builder. It's a framework I created where I go over the 5 hot principles that you're going to need to know about even doing great product demos that'll help you close twice as fast and shorten your sales cycle. And I even go over the 9-box model of the questions and the flow of the Rocket Demo to take it from an hour and a half down to 30 to 45 minutes. And I'm talking about credit card customer on the call. Click the link below to download your copy. And if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and leave a comment letting me know what was the most valuable aspect of this video. And I would love to challenge you to live a bigger life and a bigger business, and I'll see you next Monday.
Hit a quota.
Ready? How to hire a salesperson that can hit quota.